Here we have four fractions: 1/2, 5 over 10, 10 over 20, and 15 over 30. These are what we call equivalent fractions. Now, these are not the only equivalent fractions we have. We have a ton more equivalent fractions. However, these are four such equivalent fractions. Now, what are equivalent fractions? Well, equivalent fractions are just going to be fractions that mean the same thing. So if you look at these fractions here, 1/2, what does that tell you? Well, you have half of something, right? 1 is half of 2. You have half of something. 1/2 is a half. How about 5 over 10? Well, it's telling you the same thing. It means the same thing. You have half of something. 5 is half of 10. How about 10 over 20? 10 is half of 20. So once again, it means the same thing. 15 over 30? 15 is half of 30. So it means the same thing. So if you have two fractions or more fractions that mean the same thing, you can call those fractions equivalent fractions. But like I said, these are not the only equivalent fractions. You have a lot more equivalent fractions that have nothing to do with these fractions here. As long as those group of fractions have the same meaning, essentially, they mean the same thing, those are going to be considered equivalent fractions. Let's look at another four. Here we have four more fractions: 1 over 3, 2 over 6, 3 over 9, and 4 over 12. These are also going to be called equivalent fractions. Now, these are equivalent to each other. These are not going to be equivalent to the other set of four fractions. Those are not equivalent to these. And that's because they don't mean the same thing. 1/3 is not the same as 1/2. However, 2/6 is going to be the same thing as 1/3. And that's because whenever you have a 1/3, that just means you have a third of something. 3 1s gives you a 3. And 3 2s gives you a 6. 3 3s gives you a 9. And 3 4s gives you 12. That means 2 is going to be a third of 6. 3 is going to be a third of 9. 4 is going to be a third of 12. They all mean the same thing, and that's 1/3. So remember, if you have some fractions that mean the same thing, those fractions are just going to be called equivalent fractions. So now that we've talked about what equivalent fractions are and we've seen a few, let's talk about how we make equivalent fractions. Now, in order to make an equivalent fraction, all you have to do is multiply your original fraction by 1. If you do that, I guarantee you are always going to get an equivalent fraction. You must be thinking, if you multiply something by 1, aren't you just going to get the same thing back? Yes. In most cases, you will get the same thing back. 1/2 is going to equal 1/2 times 1. However, we're going to be multiplying by a special looking 1. It's still going to be 1, but it's going to look very different. And that's because we're going to be mainly focusing on division. This 1 is going to be highlighted in division. If I was to ask you, what is 2 divided by 2? What would you tell me? You would say 1. How about 3 divided by 3? What is that going to be? 1. How about 4 divided by 4? What is that going to be? 1 again. And you see this is going to be a pattern, right? Whenever you're dividing by the same number, you're always going to get 1. Well, another way of writing division is fraction form. So technically, 2 divided by 2 can be written as 2 over 2. 3 divided by 3 can be written as 3 over 3. And 4 divided by 4 can be written as 4 over 4. And continue this on, and you're going to have the same thing happen. Even when you get to 100 over 100, it's going to equal the same thing. So 1 can have a lot of different looks. And we're going to take advantage of that because we don't want to change our fraction. We want to make sure we have the same meaning. However, we want it to look different. By looking different, you're going to get an equivalent fraction. So instead of multiplying by the 1 that you see here, we really want to multiply by what? What's going to give you 10 when you multiply by 2? Well, 5. And remember, you have to have one thing over itself. So if 5 is in the bottom, you have to put 5 on the top. And when you multiply this, you're going to get your equivalent fraction. See, 1 times 5 is 5. 2 times 5 is 10. You can do the same thing for the 1/3 example. 1/3 is going to be 3 over 9, but how do we get this? you're going to multiply by 1, but it has to be the same number over itself. What's going to give us this 3 over 9? Well, that's going to be 3 over 3, right? 3 over 3. When you're multiplying by 1, you're really just changing how it looks. 3 over 3 is 1, so we're not doing anything different. We're not changing the meaning. We're just changing how it looks. And this is going to be how you are going to create your own equivalent fractions. So now that we know how to make equivalent fractions, let's see if we can identify an equivalent fraction in one more example. Here we have our last example for today, and we're going to pick that fraction. More specifically, we're going to pick that equivalent fraction. We have 7 over 9. And we need to find out, is it A, B, or C that's going to be our equivalent fraction? Remember, an equivalent fraction has to mean the same thing. So which one of these, A, B, or C, is going to give us our equivalent fraction? Let's figure this out together. Remember, whenever you're making equivalent fraction, we want to multiply the top and bottom by the same number. If we do that and we get the resulting fraction, it should be an equivalent fraction. So let's start with A. If we were to multiply 9 by something to get 36, is that something also going to be in the top? So let's figure it out. What do you multiply 9 by to get 36? Well, that is going to be 4. 9 times 4 is 36. So if we do 4 over 4, are we going to get this? Well, 4 times 7 is going to give you 28. So it's not quite A. We're almost there, but not quite. Let's try B. What times 9 will give us 18? Well, that's going to be 9 times 2 gives us 18. If we were to do 2 over 2, do we get 14 over 18? Yes, we do get 14 over 18. So we know that B is our equivalent fraction, but we have one more fraction. Could this also be an equivalent fraction? Let's find out. In the bottom, we have 45. What times 9 will give us 45? 5 times 9. So if we were to do 5 in the top, are we going to get 42 over 45? No, because this is going to be 35 over 45. Not quite C either. So it seems like B is going to be our only answer. B is going to be the only thing here that's equivalent to 7 over 9. It means the same exact thing, and we know that because whenever you multiply top and bottom by 2, you're going to get this 14 over 18. And all we did was multiply 7 over 9 by 1, essentially, right? 2 over 2 is going to be 1. So we know that we haven't changed our fraction. We just changed how it looked. Well, thank you for watching. I hope you learned something today. And if you did, be sure to leave a like and hit the subscribe button. See you again next week.